Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Did I say your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, Ms. Ghazali. The charge for you is making an unlawful U-turn, which is a 3-point traffic infraction allegedly occurring at 18th and Pearl on April 24th of 2025. A couple of different options for you. One would be to reduce that from 3 points to a 1-point charge. There would just be a fine. There's also an option to reduce that from 3 points to a 0-point charge if you are willing to take the online traffic class that I've described to others. So
Okay.
a couple of ways to proceed. What would you like to do?
I'm willing to take the class.
Want to do the class? All right, so that will mean you'll plead guilty to a 0-point charge.
Yes.
That won't be reported to the Department of Motor Vehicles, but there will be a fine, and then you'll have the class to complete.
Of course.
All right, that charge will be called failing to wear a seatbelt. Obviously not what you did, but how you can get the points reduced, which is a violation of section 7232 of the Boulder Revised Code occurring at 18th and Pearl on April 24th of 2025. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, sir.
I'll accept that guilty plea. I'm going to take a look at the notes on the ticket here. You're saying you can't find a report? Or
No,
there is
I
a
was
report?
saying there is a.
Oh, okay, great. I'll take a look at that as well. I'm not, I was able to see if anybody was hurt. Were you all okay?
Everybody was good.
Okay, that's good to know. All right. Anything else that you'd like to share with me? I will look at your driving record as well before I set the fine, Ms. Ghazali.
No, Your Honor, this is my first infraction ever, so I was just unfortunately in a rush for work and was trying to take care of a client and not get a ticket for over parking in a 3-hour parking spot, and unfortunately got in an accident. So
Okay.
I apologize, and we'll be more careful from now on.
All right, well, I appreciate that. And always happy when someone has a good, clear record, and that's what Sabrina has pulled up for me to see. So those are positives. And so our record here is going to reflect that you've pled guilty to a 0-point charge. Like I said, it doesn't get sent down to the Department of Motor Vehicles. You're going to have the level 1 traffic class to complete.
Yes, Your Honor.
And our staff out front will give you a deadline for completing that. And they'll also give you information on how you can go to the website and sign up for the class and then get the class taken. But because of the good driving record and because of the fact that you're going to spend some money on that class, I'm going to reduce my normal $150 fine to a $100 fine there, $30 in court costs. So you have $130 to pay the court, and then you'll have that class to complete.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Welcome. Can you pay the $130 today?
I can, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you out front. They'll collect the fine, give you information about the class. As long as we have proof that you completed the class before the court date that they've given to you, you won't have to come back to court.
Perfect. Thank you so
All right,
much.
have a good day, Ms.
You
Ghazali.
too.
And go ahead, Mr. Altenberg.
Yes, Your Honor. I had the opportunity today to speak to Mr. Mosqueda about a citation. I explained to him how the photo enforcement system works, especially the difference between speeding and red light violations. Mr. Mosqueda was not attempting to obviously speed in the situation, but more than anything, he just wanted a little bit more information and was a little bit confused about how the process worked. It's my belief that he intends to plead guilty today and pay the $40 fine.
All right, is that correct, Mr. Mosqueda?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and accept that guilty plea. It is to the charge of speeding 40 miles per hour in a posted 30-mile-per-hour zone at Broadway and Pine Street on May 23rd of 2025. How do you plead to that charge, sir? Guilty. I'll accept that guilty plea. Is there anything that you'd like to say about the case before I set the fine?
No, he explained really well.
All right, the fine will be $40. We don't impose court costs on these cases because they're photo enforcement cases. So it's a $40 fine. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'm just going to send you right out front. One of our clerks will collect that payment from you and get you on your way.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. And now let's go ahead and call the Lawrence Atkinson case. Mr. Atkinson, if you'll come forward. There are 2 options for you to consider from the prosecutor's office. One would be to reduce that from 4 points to 2 points. There would just be a fine. A second option would be to reduce it from 4 points to a 1-point charge. If you chose that option, you'd have a fine and that level 1 traffic class you've heard me discuss.
Sure.
What would you like to do?
I'll do the class.
The 1 point with the class?
Yeah.
So the prosecutors will change the charge. It's now going to be called driving with the defective headlamp. That's what makes it the 1-point infraction. That's a violation of section 732 of the Boulder Revised Code occurring on May 8th of 2025 at Table Mesa Drive in US 36. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept that guilty plea to the 1-point charge. We'll have you take that traffic class. I'll take a quick look at the notes from the officer. Nothing aggravating in the notes. Anything else that you'd like me to know, Mr. Atkinson, before I set the fine?
No, Your Honor. I mean, was my first time ever getting pulled over, and then originally I would have just paid the fine online, but it it would only let me do it to 2 points, and in-person officer told me that it would go to 1 point.
Right, you have to come in to do that one, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, I appreciate that. And I'm glad you took the time to do that so that you could get that reduction. And I do take into account a number of factors. One is a good driving record. You described it, that you've never even been pulled over and there's no citations in your history. So good record, not an aggravated case, and you're going to take the class. So my fine normally is $125. With court costs, I'm going to make it $80, and then there's $30 in court costs. You have $110 to pay the court, and then you'll have that class to complete.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, I'll send you out front. They're going to collect the payment of the fine, and then they'll give you information about the class. As long as you get the certificate back to us before the court date that they give you, then you won't have to come back to court.
Cool.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, right out front then. Thank you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole, you may have heard Sabrina indicate to me that she believes that you may have a CDL, a commercial driver's license. Is that accurate? So you may have heard me discussing with Mr. Jenkin a little earlier about what happens with CDLs. The prosecutors can make offers to reduce points. The charge, which in this case is colliding with a parked vehicle, would not be able to be changed as far as a plea offer goes. So let me share with you what their options are, and then you can decide what you'd like to do. One option would be to reduce that 4-point charge to a 2-point charge. And if you chose that option, you would just have a fine. A second option would be to reduce it to a 1-point charge. If you chose that option, you'd have a fine as well as a level 1 traffic class to attend. So a couple of different ways to proceed. You can also speak with the prosecutor today if you'd like.
So there's no way to get that to 0?
The problem for the prosecutors, at least as I perceive it with the 0-point charge, is because DMV won't accept the 0 point and the way the federal anti-masking law works, they can't reduce it to a 0-point charge. So the only way you could end up without any points, in my view, is if the prosecutor's dismissed or if you were found not guilty at trial. So I know that's troubling, and it frustrates me that people with CDLs are treated a little bit differently in the law, but that's the way it is pursuant to federal law.
Well, there were very unusual circumstances that morning. And colliding is really a hyperbole. I mean, I scratched a car moving next to 0 miles an hour because the main entrance to the mobile home neighborhood where I pick up 25 school kids was blocked due to an accident. So I heard another bus driver over the radio say, you can go in the side entrance, which I did, but later, so they were driving an 18-passenger bus. I have a 71-passenger bus. I picked up all the kids. I was trying to maneuver the bus out of the neighborhood where all the other cars were going because the main entrance was closed, and I literally scratched the fender of a parked car. So if there's some way I could avoid points on my license, I don't.
So I can't speak for the prosecutors. If they look at it and say, you know what, I don't know that I can prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, that's typically what I hear is the standard that they have to follow with respect to the anti-masking law. It's certainly worth a conversation with Mr. Altenberg.
Okay, I mean, I scratched the car, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I made the rear corner of my bumper contacted a car.
Yeah.
But if there's I'll try.
Yeah, give it a shot. See what you can come up with. It's not up to me to decide what their perspective is. It's for Mr. Altenberg to determine. And so why don't you have the conversation and see where things stand?
Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Chauhan, we've pulled up your case. You have a disobeying red signal charge, which is a 4-point, or excuse me, wait a minute. Oh, we're making a right turn, so that's why it's 3 points. So this is a 3-point traffic infraction that you're facing. A couple of different options from the prosecutor's office. One would be to reduce that from 3 points to a 1-point charge. If you chose that option, there would just be a fine. The second option would be to reduce that from 3 points to a 0-point charge. If you chose that option, you'd have the class and there would be a fine associated with it. So a couple of different ways to proceed. And you could also, of course, speak with the prosecutor this evening.
I'd like to do the course, Your Honor.
You want to do the 0-point with the class? All right. So the 0-point charge will be called failing to wear a seatbelt. That's a violation of section 7232 of the Boulder Revised Code, occurring at 30th and Baseline on May 30th of 2025. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Accept that guilty plea to the 0-point charge. We'll have you take the level 1 traffic class. I'm going to take a quick look at the report I've got here. Oh, I know that intersection pretty well. It's kind of tricky as far as making the right turn there. And then we'll take a look at your driving record. Anything else that you'd like me to know before I set the fine?
This is my first traffic ticket, and I'm a working college student at Boulder.
Okay, and when you, do you pay your own fees first, or do you get some help from family on paying your expenses for being a CU?
Some help with like my tuition, but I would pay this.
All right, so you gotta pay your fines and some of your expenses as far as living expenses go.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good for me to know, and while we were speaking, Sabrina pulled up your driving record. It's a very good one, so I appreciate that. You've agreed to take the class, which will cost you a little bit of money, it's $60. But this was not an aggravated circumstance, so I'm gonna take that into account. Normally, my fine is around 125. This is not aggravated and a good driving record. Also with your financial situation, I'm gonna reduce this to a $70 fine, $30 in court costs. So it leaves you with $100 to pay, and then you've got 60 for the class.
Okay.
Can you pay the fine today?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll send you out front. They'll collect the payment on the fine and then get you on your way.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Masuda.
Good morning, Your Honor.
2 charges initially. Do we have insurance proof yet?
We do, and that's been dismissed in the
Perfect.
system.
Okay, so just 1 charge remaining now. The other charge has been dismissed. The charge of careless driving, which is a 4-point charge. There are 2 options available to you from the prosecutors. One would be to reduce it to a 2-point charge. There would just be a fine. There's also an option to reduce it to a 1-point charge. If you chose that option, you'd have a fine and the traffic class to complete. What would you like to do, Ms. Masuda?
If it's possible, I would love to speak with the prosecutor.
You can also have a conversation with them. So it shouldn't be too long because we've got both prosecutors out working right now and you'd be next up. So if you'll just have a seat, we'll let them know you're waiting to speak with them. Ms. Reichenberg is here. Go ahead, Ms. Reichenberg.
And Your Honor, can you recall Ms. Masuda?
Yes, Ms. Masuda, if you'll come forward again. And whenever you're ready, Ms. Reichenberg.
And Your Honor, I spoke to Ms. Masuda, and it is my understanding that she wants to take a level 2 driving class and return for a 0-point plea.
All right, that sounds good then. Ms. Masuda, we'll reschedule your case. You probably heard me talk to others about how that works. And we'll let you come back by Zoom video if that's more convenient for you. Once someone's seen me once, we don't really need to have them keep coming back to see us. So we'll reschedule you. It'll be about 6 to 8 weeks out. That'll give you time to get that level 2 class completed. And then you'll email that certificate to the prosecutor's office. They'll upload it for us. And then when we see you, we can accept that plea to the 0-point charge. Any questions for me?
No, thank you.
All right, I'll send you right out front. One of our clerks will get you that next court date. All right, thank you, Ms. Masuda. Have a good day.